welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated to Big Brother Season 22 called Big Brother All-Stars, or All-Stars 2 if you're being very technical about it. Now before we jump into the review and recap, I wanted to let you all know how this video was going to be formatted. The first half of this video, or the first part of this video, is going to be all about what happened in episode 2, what we saw on the broadcast of Sunday night's show, and then there will be a point where I will be done with that, and then I will go into live feed updates. Now, if you do not want to be spoiled about Veto, who won the veto, and all that other stuff, I will give you ample opportunity. I will put up my hands and say, hey, I'm switching over to the live feeds. If you don't want to see spoilers, please turn off the video, and then I will go into it. So you will have ample opportunity to switch off of the video if you do not want to be spoiled or know what kind of alliances are being made that we had not seen just yet on the show. So, with that being the case, let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Julie Chen saying goodbye to everybody on premiere night, and everybody was able to roam around the house, see where they're going to be living for a while, as long as you're like lucky and aren't going to get voted out anytime soon. There are some happy reunions happening, as we saw with Janelle and Kaysar. They're excited to be working, playing the game together yet again. It's been a while since they've been on the show. They say it's been a while since they've even talked in real life, but now being on the show, they know that they can trust each other and they want to work with each other. Now there's some not so happy reunions, and that was with Nicole F and Devon in the photograph room, where they say everything is cool between them, but Devon is gonna be very weary of Nicole for how they played the game together the last time they were on the Big Brother house together. Everything that happens in this house just so far in this first week is all going to be lip service. Now, there's gonna be deals being made, there's gonna be a lot of people saying that they wanna work with each other, and you just gotta take them at their word, because nothing can be done at this point. I mean, there's nothing like, oh, I'm gonna save you this week or do this week. There's gonna be a lot of lip service happening, so you're gonna have to figure out what, by your own discretion, what is true and what you need to be really weary of. Now let's move on to the have not room. Now on premiere night, we could not see it live. It was a big malfunction, but they finally got it done on the live feeds. They were able to go in there, look around, and it looks absolutely miserable. It looks like something out of Saw. It looks disgusting. There's cots instead of actual beds. There's, from the live feeds, it's told to be like really freezing in there and like frigid, and they don't have the best of blankets. It's absolutely miserable in there. It's not going to be fun to be a have-not in this house, in this game whatsoever, and starting out week 1 as a have-not is not the way you want to start out this game. Now we move on to Cody and him being HOH, his HOH reign. He's in the HOH bedroom, and we first see him in this episode talking to Nicole F. Now, they played with each other on Big Brother 16, and they feel that they can trust each other. So, with that being the case, they decide to make a final 2 deal together. They're talking about who they should target this week. Cody is thinking, okay, well, I haven't really talked to Keisha a whole lot, and I don't really know her from her Big Brother season. And then Nicole and him bring up, like, maybe targeting Janelle and Kaysar. They are a tight duo. They played together twice, and Cody has a real problem with Kaysar. He doesn't like him whatsoever. He thinks he's very calculated in his conversations and the way he talks. And Nicole F just does not like Janelle whatsoever. So Cody is really leaning on maybe putting up Janelle and Kaysar, and if either of them go home, that's fine with him. Then later on in the night, Tyler is using the HOH bathroom and he's getting ready to walk out, and then Cody's like, hey, I'm just letting you know that with me as HOH, you have nothing to worry about. They pretty much strike up a kind of a working relationship, a final 2 deal with each other, and they're just saying that they have each other's backs and they have nothing to worry about if either one of them is in power. On premiere night, Julie Chen Moonves gave us just a little taste of this new twist that's going to be put in this game called the Safety Suite. And she just kind of mentioned it, left it open-ended, and then said, see ya, you'll get to learn about it later. Well, in this episode, we finally got to learn all the details of the Safety Suite, so let's go over it. It's going to be an extra contest happening before nominations each week. But everybody's going to get a VIP badge to the Safety Suite. And each week, there's going to be an allotted amount of time for any player to go up there and swipe their badges. If you swipe your badge, that means you want to play in the Safety Suite, where one player will ultimately win safety and they will get the ability to pick a +1 to be safe with them. And with this safety, you cannot be put up at any point in this week. You can't be put up in nomination or as a replacement in Veto. That's a very important thing. But if you are picked as the +1, you are going to have to endure a punishment, a costume punishment, where this costume is ridiculous. A caveat is that once you swipe your VIP badge, you cannot play ever again. Like, you're not, just because you didn't win, you're not gonna get your VIP badge back. You're one and done, and then we're moving on. There is a buzzer, a voice comes over the Big Brother house saying that the safety suite is open. That it was open for an hour, and everybody is really not knowing how to figure out what to do about this twist. A lot of people are thinking, okay, well, if I swipe my badge, that means I don't feel safe. It lets the whole house think that I don't feel safe. Maybe it means that I'm trying to usurp the power of the HOH, and that's gonna put a bigger target on me. And that's exactly what Keisha says to Kesar, where they're talking about, hey, do you wanna play? What do you think? And Keisha's like, I haven't really talked to Cody. I don't know where his head is at, but I kinda don't wanna play because if there's not a target on my back already, and I go and swipe my badge to play in this game this week, then there could be a target on my back at that point. And then I just kind of screwed myself for weeks to come. But in this hour, this is the time to go talk to the HOH and try to figure out where his head is at. And the two players that feel as though that they should go talk to Cody, see where his head is at, and see if they're in trouble, see how they feel after talking with them, and see if they have to go into the safety suite competition this week, is Kesar and Janelle. And let me tell you right now, they are not picking up what Cody is putting down. Cody is saying some vague stuff about how he doesn't know anybody. These are really tough decisions, like nice pleasantries on trying not to say, you're my target, this is who I'm going for, and just throwing out names. So after talking with them, Kesar and Cody are clashing heads a little bit in their brains, that they're like, okay, well, I can't trust Cody, Cody can't trust Kesar, and now Kesar is thinking, well, I feel as though I'm in trouble this week. Janelle goes to talk to Cody, and he's giving her the same kind of treatment, being super vague. So both Janelle and Kesar are thinking maybe we should play, but nobody's going after it. Nobody's even swiping their badges anywhere close to this thing. Now it hits 30 seconds, and Kesar decides, you know what, I'm just gonna go swipe my badge. He swipes his badge. Janelle, kind of caught up in the moment, decides to swipe her badge. And I kind of like this move by Janelle and Kesar, not only because they were gonna be targets #1 this week, but because if you're worried at all, just even a little bit, it's like, why not use it? It's kind of like having a hidden immunity idol in your pocket in Survivor, and you're going to Tribal Council, and you're kind of wavering back and forth, but you're like, well, maybe I should just keep it for next Tribal Council. How do you know you're gonna even make it through this Tribal Council to even be able to use it next Tribal Council? Why not use it and at least get the opportunity to play next week? So I like the opportunity and the decisions to play in the Safety Suite comp this week. So now let's move on to the Safety Suite competition this week called Don't Miss a Beat, where players are going to hear a remix to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. There are buttons all around them in this DJ booth that play a specific part of the song. What you're going to have to do is hit the buttons in the right sequential order to play the song fully, and the player that can do it the quickest will win safety and win the opportunity to pick a +1. Now Kesar does it. He's messing up a lot, but he's getting into the groove. He finally gets it done. Then Janelle comes in. She's messing up a ton, but because of the editing, it seems like she does it pretty quickly. And then we move on to the results. And the results show that Kesar finished it just under 8 minutes, and Janelle finished it just over 16.5 minutes, meaning Kesar won the Safety Suite comp. He is safe for the week, and his +1 is Janelle. And Janelle is happy to be safe, but she has to wear this ridiculous star costume, which Enzo deemed a bootleg Teletubby. But I'm telling you right now, I'm sure Janelle is happy looking like a bootleg Teletubby as long as she's safe in the week. With Kesar and Janelle both safe from the block, now Cody is having to figure out which two other players that he wants to target this week. Kevin pulls Cody into the pantry to have a one-on-one conversation, and things get heavy. They have a heart-to-heart, and Cody is feeling really terrible about possibly putting Kevin on the block. but not super terrible because he still puts Kevin on the block. He decides to nominate Keisha and Kevin. And that is it for this episode of Big Brother 22 Big Brother All-Stars. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. Let me know anything and everything. Who are you rooting for? Let me know that in the comment section. Now, I will be going into the live feed updates. I'm going to be talking about Veto, Veto players, Veto wins, and all the alliances that are happening in the house. So if you do not want to be spoiled in any capacity, turn off this video, leave me a comment, like this video, and leave me a comment, please. But now I will be going into live feed updates. Now let's go straight into Veto, and we're going to be talking about who was picked to play in the Veto comp this week. Of course, Cody, Keisha, and Kevin have to play, and they all pick names out of that little box. And the names that were picked were Ian, Kesar, and Kevin picked the little peg that said house guest choice, and he decided to pick Enzo for some reason to play in the Veto with him. And they go and play the game. Lo and behold, Enzo wins Veto for the week, and right after winning the Veto, he's talking to people, he's talking to Tyler thinking, hey, what if I use the Veto this week, take somebody off, and then we get a real player out of the game early. So he's already thinking about using the Veto, but then he goes up to the HOH room and he's talking to Cody, and Cody is like, please do not use the Veto. Do not use the Veto whatsoever. Cody doesn't want any more blood on his hands. He already put up these two people. He already pissed these two people off. Don't piss off any more people. So I am 98% sure Enzo will not use the power of Veto. I'm pretty much 99% sure that Enzo will not use the Veto on either one of these nominations. So the nominations on Thursday night are probably going to be, most likely going to be Keisha and Kevin, and one of them will be voted out of the game. Most likely Keisha, as Kevin is talking a little bit more with everybody. Week 1 of Big Brother, there is a ton of alliances. There's a ton of game talk. Now, how far week 1 alliances go are not very likely. They're not very strong. Like I said earlier, they're just a lot of lip service, but there's a lot happening in the Big Brother house. So I decided to put a little bit of a visual aid to kind of give you an idea of what is going on in the Big Brother house, what kind of alliances are being made, and who's being aligned with what. So with that being said, here we go. Let's start off with our week 1 HOH Cody. Now, Cody has gotten close with the guys of the house. No surprise there. On night 1, him and Tyler got close and struck up a final 2 deal with one another. Then bring in Enzo to make this 3, and we have a guys alliance forming in the house. We'll have Tyler step to the side for now, but trust me, we'll come back to him later. Cody and Enzo have gotten super close the past couple of days. So close that they made a final 2 deal with each other and named it The Roots. Somewhere, Questlove is cringing over this. Bring in Nicole F and Danny, who have been working in tandem in this game since the first hour, it seems, of stepping into the house. They have talked extensively with Cody and Enzo, and the 4 seems to be in alliance with Nicole F and Cody making a final 2 deal with each other. Now let's bring back Tyler in to make this a 3-person alliance that they've made. Also, Nicole F and Ian have made a final 2 deal called the Million Club, as they think a winner will only win if there are 2 winners at the end. Let's see how far that will go. Cody has also gotten close with Ian, David, and that's despite calling David Kevin in the pantry multiple times, and Cody has gotten close with Memphis. Now, Cody and Enzo also talked to Bailey about bringing in Davon and her with a secret alliance of Cody, Enzo, Bailey, and Davon, where they don't care what side alliances they make, just keep an eye out for each other. Which, I have to say, Bailey and Davon are working the social game this week 1, as everyone is talking about wanting to work with them. Also, they made a final 2 deal alliance with one another. Speaking of Davon, she is close with Danny, has talked with everyone, and made a 3-person secret alliance with herself, Kevin, and Nicole A. Nicole A and Kevin have both gotten close with Ian, who has been trying to lay low early on this season. David and Nicole A, of course, are looking out for each other with the BB21 connection, and in the bathroom area, David and Ian are close with each other and want to work together as well. There is a bit of an old schoolers alliance with some talks going on between Janelle, Kesar, Memphis, and Keisha. Now let's bring in Tyler one last time to show that he's made final 2 deals with Cody. He's also talked with working with Bailey in a duo and doing the same thing with Christmas and David. It really doesn't seem like his strategy has changed much from BB20, where he's making so many deals with so many different players. And that is it for this Big Brother video. What do you think about this Big Brother season so far? Let me know that in the comments section below. What do you think about the episodes? What do you think about Cody's HOH reign? What do you think about Janelle and Kaysar going for the safety suite? Let me know that in the comment section below. And who are you rooting for? Let me know that as well. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more Big Brother videos, more challenge videos, more content in general. But until then, peace.